Okay, welcome everybody. It's Spill of Immunity time. We are recapping season 49, episode 7, also known as the horror movie of Survivor. And I'm joined by the amazing Alex and Brandon. Hi, guys. What did we think last night?
What's your guys' favorite horror movie? Let's start there. Halloween,
Oh,
very thematic.
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. Okay,
I
good.
do like a little Freddy.
I'm not a big scary movie guy. I don't know. I don't find it. It's not my thing. I did watch that one movie. What was it called? Good Boy with the dog. You know, it's like a horror movie and like nobody taught. It's like just the dog. It's pretty bad. But you know, I like the dog. So, not a big horror. I don't know, Brandon. You a horror movie guy?
There were two. I'll watch it. I'll watch it just to see how everybody else reacts. I'll watch their reaction. Okay. I would say there's two. One is a B, maybe even a C. They would have it on like Mystery Science Theater 3000 type movie. It's called Demonic Toys. That was a good one. And I would say my second one would be anything with Brandon Hance on Survivor. So I am, and I'm starting to feel the same way about actually none of these people on the season. I think they're all playing great, and we got to see the breakup of the same old, and this season is getting better, and it might be thanks to Jeff Probst saying, hey, season 50 is upon us, and you could be a part of it. That was great.
Alex is like, I don't know.
I don't know about that. Because the move was made before he said that. You know, so the move, the big move was Sage and Jawan joining the other tribe alliance, which to me, it doesn't make sense. Because now, I mean, they were at the bottom of the old tribe. Aren't they just at the bottom of this new tribe that they just joined too? They just didn't like the other guys because they just had, Sage is like, I want revenge. I was like, revenge for what? Like leaving you out of they didn't vote. They never voted against each other. They never betrayed her.
And that's why
they have this animosity towards them, because they're like the cool. They're like not even cool. You know what I mean? So
but that's why the bottoms up alliance is working, because it's the first time that one of them, maybe two of them, were a part of a vote. So you only are able to solidify trust. Kind of like MC said, that this is the first time I'm able to trust anybody will be after this vote. Until you actually get to tribal. And so the bottoms up might be, besides Savannah and Rizgod, might be the strongest alliance of the game because of that reason, right?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't think Steven is maybe super loyal to Jawan. Like when push comes to shove, I feel like he's going to be more loyal to MC and potentially Sophie. Just because, I mean, here's what I kind of project is going to happen, right? Because we all know Savannah and Rizzo are on season 50, right? Mm-hmm. And so the idea was like they were going to bulldoze like the entire season. They were going to become super dominant. But you saw this episode, like people kind of don't like Savannah. They're calling her bug-eyed. They're they like she's rubbing people the wrong way. She's a little bit too forward, a little bit too pushy. But she's aligned with Soph, who were, Blue Soph. You're not calling her Soph. She has this knowledge is power advantage, and she's pretty closely aligned with Savannah and Rizzo. And so are you going to see like this comeback insurgency, basically like Savannah and Rizzo fighting from the bottom this entire time and using the idols and using these different things to like really cause a ton of chaos? I mean, that's kind of what I project. And then like this is why I think like Jawan and Sage, they're like a little bit too squirrely. Mm-hmm. And so they're going to become tricked. They're going to become like caught in this, and that's where I think Steven, they're going to kind of like revert back to their original alliances. But it's kind of what
Yeah, who knows? I mean, I think what's getting this season, the rarity of this season, right, is that we know that two of them come back, and we have yet to see truly why they are, best of the best material. We see how they're getting there. But as far as the best material, I think you're exactly right that these next couple episodes, it kind of writes itself, right? That idols will be used successfully. They have to. I think they're going to use both idols, knowledge is power, and his immunity idol successfully. Maybe two different vote outs. So I think we know that they are moving on for at least 3 episodes, which makes everything a little bit more like, oh, I wish I didn't know that about them, right? I wish I didn't know that they were going to play season 50.
Right.
And that was what I was just going to ask is I really don't like the fact that we know that those two are going to move on. I don't know why that was shared. I don't know why to know that. I think it would have made the season more exciting to try to figure out who we thought would be, moving on to season 50.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure in the logic of why they actually told us.
Do we know that they were the ones that told us?
I think CBS told us. I think
Yeah,
Jeff said it. So I'm not clear on why that was done. I kind of wish that they had maybe held out a little bit and not said anything. I also think that I I don't like it when production, aka Jeff, inserts things into the season. I think it shifts things. I think it's still an outside source coming into play into what is happening on. They must have thought that this was just the trashiest season ever, and they were like, "What can we do to get people motivated into doing something crazy and picking this up? Because otherwise, it's going to be horrible." Like, still, I like just the finale. I haven't liked this from the beginning. I haven't liked the fact that we're talking about 50 before we're seeing 49 or talking about 49. I'm just the whole thing. All I can say is 50 had better be absolutely spectacular, because I think it has the ability to do that, but it's overshadowed 49 so much in so many different ways that I'm not happy with it. I'm not. I think that we're just like it's a placeholder at this point, and I don't know what we're going to see that's going to change that. I think we've already seen Savannah and Rizzo doing their thing, and if it makes Savannah even more of a monster than she is in a not good way, not more in the Russell Hantz, maybe sort of not even that. Like she's just not fun to be around. So I don't know. I'm very
He's not like
opinionated on
super
this.
charming or anything. And you know, Jeff kept saying, this is when you really start to play the game. It's like, we're 6 episodes in. What do you mean we just start playing the game at merge? It's like in the NBA, it's like they don't even try until like the last 20 seconds of the game, and then everyone starts trying. I don't watch the NBA, but like that, like I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, people are finding normal Survivor. They're finding idols. They're making their core alliances. Like, actually, the majority of the game is played before. I don't know. It's just like a weird statement. It's just because the season was so boring up until this point. So Jeff had to make some sort of excuse like, oh, okay, now, hey, audience, now, trust me, it'll get good now. I know the first 6 episodes were a total waste of time. They weren't even playing, though. Nobody was even just trying at all. Now we'll start the game.
Yeah, tell that to Sophie and
Alex. Yeah.
Alex. Tell them that, hey, we're just going to start. And they're like, are we serious right now? We're just starting to play. And I mean, MC and tell the other Sophie, they haven't played anything. They just played the challenges and kind of laid low and complained about fruit. So yeah. I think that this season is. I love that the merge is back. There's no mergatory. I loved how they had. It was kind of the key thing. Could have done without, but just the fact that that winner got what they deserved, I think, and that is to go win the emerge feast without playing, and then got a little bit freshness in the immunity challenge, which she probably needed to be a little more fresh since she went out so early. So I thought there were still redeemable pieces in this episode. So I liked this episode.
I can't say that I didn't like the episode. I'm just from the outside standpoint of not the game, right? Not the game. This is production. This is announcements. This is all the stuff that's what I consider of the game. The game is being played, right?
Right.
And so I don't like when outside has any kind of an influence. They're so like, they're not going to tell them anything. They're not going to like. We've seen episodes where people are expecting a child or somebody's dying or there's like, they don't bring that in, but it's okay for Jeff to be like, well, guys, guess what? Two of you are going to make it to season 50. You better start playing. Like, shut up. Like, don't do that. However, going to the episode, I did like the episode. I thought it wasn't fantastic, but it wasn't crud either. I think Juwan and Sage are gonna be set up for a big fall because they're just not very good at what they're doing. I mean, Sage maybe, but Juwan probably not. I think he's going to trip himself up with somebody or forget who's standing in the group that they're in and be like, oh, those people, they think I'm with them. And then I'll be like, oh, wait, shoot, you're here. I think that'll happen. But I wanted to ask you guys, because this part really, I don't know how I would have handled it, but I think it's important to talk about. And that's the MC on the hunt for the key and all of the stuff, and Savannah really getting up in her face about the whole thing. How did you like what Savannah did, and how do you like how MC handled that? Because she really basically blew her idol because of that.
I thought it showed situational awareness on Savannah's part. She goes and looks for MC. MC didn't play it up. She said, why should I shouldn't even lie about it. So I think MC, you read the situation right. She's not hiding anything. She's just kind of not telling her anything whatsoever. I think they're both reading each other correctly, as I've already stated. So that's good. Savannah staying around and kind of waiting it out. We don't know how long she actually waited. Like, was it key number 58? Was it key number 76? So they didn't really tell us then. And she kind of also alluded to the fact that she knew that she's being a little bit more creepy than she needed to be. So I think both showed situational awareness enough. I didn't think there was anything that was like, oh, dang, that was like a great play, but enough to be like, all right, they didn't do anything stupid yet. Alex?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of strong thoughts about it. I mean, it was kind of weird, but she like Savannah jumps at like MC's feet. The keys are right under her feet apparently, and who knows how that played out. Or
nose dived, man.
But I was thinking, like, what would she have done if she would have gotten the key? I mean, would MC
doesn't know what it goes to?
Would they? What was that?
She doesn't even know what it goes to.
Well, I mean, does she then like open the box, or like if her hands are on the keys first, are those keys now hers? Like, I just kind of wanted to see how that would have worked. Would MC have fought her or like wrestled for it? Like, what? How does that work? You know, because there's 50 keys. It's not like, right? Yeah, as I was like,
yeah, he would have torn her apart. I think. Did you see anything, Bree, out of there that kind of helps the rest of the game? Not the idol itself, but just what their encounter.
I think it really highly informs MC of what Savannah's all about.
Yeah.
And I think the part where she did dive for the keys, because the MC comments, she doesn't even know what the keys for. She don't even know what she's doing. She doesn't know what she's going for. She has no clue what this key goes to.
Mm-hmm.
And so what is she doing? What is she going to do if she has the keys? Okay, you've got the keys.
Savannah's highly advantageous, that's for sure. Like, she is not going to miss a beat. She's in the details of every situation. She has what Juwan, Steven, and Sage don't, and why their game is going to collapse, I think. And it helps to know that these two players aren't going to 49 to say this, but as far as their situational awareness, them spending, as long as they did, trying to figure out how should we approach them as they come to the beach and the boats. Like, you should not be thinking that long about how you are going to react to people in the boat, and that's what you came up with. I'm surprised they fell for it, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, that's a good point, Brett. I was thinking the same thing. It's like, how can you can't second guess yourself that much in your gut instinct on like the most basic thing, which is obviously you go down and you greet them at the beach.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's just the obvious thing. Of course you do that.
Yeah.
Like, so it's just totally weird. They're just freaking out. Like, oh, like, you're gonna have to tell them anyways. So I think you're right. That tells about like their nervousness, their skittishness, and like they're not able to kind of deal with confrontation in uncomfortable situations. When Savannah and Rizzo, like, they're running towards it, like they want the confrontation.
Which you can play that to their advantage too, because you do enough weird things, then non-weird becomes weird. So like if they were to like run up and be like, oh, Sage is actually happy and talking to people, Juwan is actually like, you know, not calling anybody uncle on somebody's arrival. Like these are things that could actually help them out and be as weird and awkward and make mistakes, because no one's really thinking that you're going to be this vivacious, welcoming spirit either. So maybe it plays in their advantage, but it does show, I think, that they don't necessarily have the situational awareness. Strategically, it sounds like they're making people into believers by lies they've been telling. So I'll give them that. But that was weird.
I thought it was a hard sell, and I was really surprised with the excuse they came up with that just went crazy. I was like, how about just for an idea, Steven played an idol. We all voted for Steven. He played an idol.
Yeah.
And then he voted Shannon. How about that? Simple, straightforward, no questions asked. Where'd he get the idol? I don't know. Steven found one somewhere. I mean, people have idols hidden that people aren't supposed to know about. So,
and again, I'll give them that too. Like they picked a situation that is a rarity. Like when in Survivor does somebody just snap and become this different person? Well, it's happened the lady that stepped on the stool at Tribal Council and just went crazy and ballistic at Tribal Council. I guess it happens. So as I think about it, I'm like, okay, maybe weird enough is good enough when it comes to these situations. They don't need to lie about where they find an idol. They just basically say she went crazy. I don't know, because she hadn't gone to Tribal Council yet, right? Savannah, was that her first one?
Shannon.
Yeah, like two episodes ago. That was our first one. So like they don't know who Tribal Council Shannon is. And they don't know vulnerable Shannon either, because they didn't have to go to Tribal Council. So again, maybe this is like an ingenious I don't understand yet. And I hope that's the case, because I want to see what happens when these two clash here in the next couple of weeks.
Alex, any thoughts on that?
No, I mean, I thought the lie, like, I mean, it could have just been she was going after Juwan and Juwan then went after her. I mean, that's kind of the lie that they said. I mean, they didn't have to besmirch her character and say she went crazy and she started praising the devil. Like she really went crazy. Like started speaking in tongues and trying to cast a spell on us. And
she started levitating.
Yeah.
Weird. We needed her gone.
Foaming from the mouth. Get Juwan out. So we had to kill her. We had to,
it was a horror movie. Somebody had to go.
Yeah. So I mean, pretty simple lie. I mean, just she was coming after Juwan, or you could say Steven played an idol. I mean, yeah, not that. If there's that much stress and anxiety over like that basic lie, like you vote somebody off and then you go like right back to Tribal. You don't have like a day and a half to think about it.
I'm surprised they didn't use the fact that she said she conceptually was understanding in the womb, and like why use some of that to be like, okay, like yeah, she told me that too. Like I can see how she may have become this loose cannon. But wonderful.
I guess her going crazy isn't that out of the question.
When you're conceptualizing the womb,
she should have conceptualized the vote.
Ooh. Got her.
There you go. That's what she should have done. I want to kind of move, because I know, Alex, you have to leave here in a couple minutes. I wanted to get your take on how this Tribal went, and what do we think about Juwan and this is a horror movie now. He seems to be giving us a lot at these Tribals about the state of things, or how he's setting the mood in these Tribals, where last night it was like a horror movie. It's like being in a horror movie, right? And before that it was that uncertainty. And he's doing what do we think
Juwan
about
is doing the most, honestly.
At Tribal he is, yeah.
I don't know. When Juwan talks, honestly, I kind of tune it out. Like it's just he's not my favorite player of all time. So I don't know. I don't really like Juwan. I don't like his like play. So I'm not a super Juwan fan. I don't think what he's doing is the right move. It just doesn't make sense for him to go with the other alliance. He could have voted off one of them, still had the numbers in large part, and still could have done it and stayed more in the majority. But now it's this super lopsided. You know, you have essentially 2 Uli versus 4 Hina. I guess it's now 4 Uli versus 4 Hina. So I don't know. I just don't like, and I don't like the Jawan Sage alliance. That seems very weird to me and awkward to me too. So
yeah, I don't know if bottoms up is the alliance name or over the top is the alliance name, because a couple of them Zinger, a couple of them just like, I feel like Jawan's that person that I know this is a double entendre or whatever they call it, but over exaggerates everything. So like seeing the necklace and being like, oh, that's so fire. Be like, we've seen 49 of these. Like it's not, I guess it's cool to see it there, but I just feel like he's the guy that adds an exclamation point or two after an exclamation point.
He's emojis. Yes, he's the one in the chat that throws in 10,000 emojis.
The guy. Yeah.
I know people like that.
Yeah. Which again, I'm friends
thankfully
like
never watched the show. So that's a good thing.
They add spice to life, but you're just like, I don't know if the spice was needed. The chili was just fine. Like the chili was fine.
Yeah, leave it alone. Just it's okay how it is.
It's a flavor. Yeah. So that's what I think about Jawan. And I think that when he hears season 50, I don't think he quickly goes to, oh, I need to over strategize, which maybe he does. But I think also he goes to, I need to have my one-liners that will get me to the next season. I think he thinks seasons 51, 52, 53. I think he's there.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm wondering if Jawan is that sleeper that we don't see coming. I mean, he does it. I know it's hard to believe, but we did have Gabler. So I want to bring us back to like, one of those guys that just like, there's a method to his madness, kind of a thing. Hey, I'm not giving it a very high percentage at this point, but I'm saying we got to take that into account.
It could happen. I don't want it to, but it could happen.
It could happen.
Yeah.
Alex, go ahead.
Well, I do like how, they voted Nate off, and it's really mixing up the season now, because it seemed like Nate was going to slide through. Mm-hmm. I don't really get this where they're like, let's not vote off Savannah and Rizzo. On Australian Survivor, they're always trying to vote off the number 1 target. On American Survivor, they're like, here's the number 1 target. Let's get the number 3. It's like,
yes.
It's like, why? Like, get one of them. It's just a weird kind of habit that they do on American Survivor. And then it ends up that these people will get to the end. And there was never a better time to try to get them out, because it was the time that they least expected it. And it's the best time to take the shot. And if they're these super uber players, well, once they're aware of this, aren't they going to be much more dynamic and harder to get out later? So it's like they have this uncertainty. It gets back to like that uncertainty. Like they're actually not these all-star, because like an all-star player would be like, let's get King George. Let's get the Golden God. Let's
Kirby
get Kirby.
Was like out.
David, they get the big players. They're not waiting. They said we have to get the big players out the soonest possible. I got to jump. Good to see y'all.
Thanks, Alex. Have fun.
And part of that too is when it comes to Savannah, I think this vote actually helped Savannah, even though she lost that vote. She's able to get the clearer picture now. She has friends in pretty high places when it comes to the merch they have around their neck, with an alliance person with the ImmuniTEA, alliance person with the knowledge is power. Sophie's playing amazing with that knowledge is power right now. She's not telling even her closest allies about it. Smart. So Savannah is in a very great place. And I think if she would have made the move that made sense to her in this vote, I think that would have knocked her out of the game here in 2-3 episodes, because she has too much power. And so this was a great episode, which is weird to say for Riz God and Savannah. Yeah,
well, she got MC to burn her idol.
Yeah.
Basically, because she told everybody about it. Mm-hmm. So it's now a target.
Yeah, she was the reason everybody knew about it.
So then MC just had to burn it because she knew it put her in a bad position now. Yeah. So she got really screwed on that. And I was sorry to see that. I think Sophie is doing a great job with not telling anybody anything and knowing where things are. I think that's really important. I was surprised that Nate didn't do, oh, by the way, I do Marvel movies as he was leaving or something. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not just a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah. Talk about these horror movies. I'm the Marvel guy.
Yeah, exactly. You might think this is a horror movie, but I'm going back to my Marvel movies that I helped create.
You guys all just became bad guys. Bad guys
Yeah.
in the Marvel movie. Walk out.
And I am not Mike White, and I am not casting any of you in my
right,
film.
right. Yeah, none of you are back. None of you. Well, what I want to see what Savannah does that Sophie doesn't in the season, and why Sophie isn't the one going to season 50, and maybe because of her alliance, like Savannah had a closer alliance with Rizgod, and they needed like 2 people to get on the show or whatever. But right now, I've really enjoyed Sophie. I'm also a Savannah fan, but so Sophie is, I think, not ticking off anybody. No one is annoyed by her. I think with Savannah, they're annoyed by just her ruthless gameplay, which again, we can't get mad at her because we're wanting the villain, and she's doing villain-like activity, like Sage is doing.
Barely, like not true villain,
but enough, right, to not get her voted out. So I mean, you can't. I don't know if you can be a villain anymore and not get voted out. Like,
right.
You're not going to win as a villain anymore.
Well, that's because you have to do sneaky behind the scenes, hiding your sneakers somewhere.
Oh gosh, or we're not putting him on the list of greatest villains, are we?
No, God, no, no. But
off a snake.
Like, I would have, like, like the real villain would have like taken the chickens and hidden them in a cave somewhere far away from camp, so there's no food for anyone, and then come back later with their torch and fricasseed a little. Yeah, I don't know.
Savannah's ripping heads off chickens. Like, I love her. I understand why people would think that she's a little much, but I think, oh my goodness, I'm excited to watch her play 50 already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm way more excited to see Savannah play 50 than I am the RIZGOD.
I want to go back to something you said earlier, and that's about production and Jeff and season 49, and how like this has kind of been a trend that the 9 episode kind of has a curse on it because they overhype the season after. I wonder if part of that, if Jeff felt that he had to jiven up this season, not primarily because of the gameplay we've seen this season, but I wonder if he's like rehashing in his mind 48 and how minuscule it got after the David vote, how redundant it got. And I'm wondering if he kind of has some PTSD off of that. What's your thoughts on that?
Oh, I would agree. I think he is coming off of 48, and he's watching it, play out with people too, because it's airing as he's about to leave to go do 49 and 50, right? And so I think it's top of mind. And then add that the sauna that they're in, apparently it's like a sauna, that it's like, I don't know, Jeff is suffering. We need to hydrate him more. Somebody needs to stand out and hold an umbrella over him to keep the sun off him.
Yeah, shoot him up with hydration packets. Yeah,
exactly. So you never know what happened to Jeff during this whole thing. I also think we do need to look at a season of, will 50 be his last? Because he is talking it up a lot. I've been saying it since 40 that I think there is that if he does leave, it's going to be on a big number, right? Okay. So when 40 came out and we knew he was going to 41 and 42, because I was like, well, I don't know. He's awfully happy at 40. He's awfully like, and he brought all the families out. And it was like this whole thing. And I was like, hey, that's not a bad send off for him. So now here we are at 50, 5 years later. And I'm wondering if, if it could be his last. I think he'll always be involved with Survivor, but I don't know if he's going to host continue to host Survivor. I've always kind of felt like he'll leave at the end of something big. And they've already told us so much about Survivor 50. We know the cast. We even know who's coming through from 49. He told all the people at 49. There's a lot of things he's let slip. So what is the big announcement? What does he have left in the bag to really kind of put it out there? Will he at the beginning or when we get close say, is this the last Jeff Probst season? I don't know. I'm just saying it kind of feels I truly believe he will absolutely go out on a big number. There isn't a much bigger number than 50 because 50 is kind of epic, right? It's an epic, it's a very nice number. It's half a century almost, right? It's a quarter century long. We're in 2026 at the time. I mean, it's a big number. We got big players coming back. We've got old and new. We've got all of the best that I think are the ones that Jeff wanted back. These are Jeff's decisions.
No, because Rob Mariano's not on it. You can't say that.
I don't know. I don't think Mariano. I think that first, I think Mariano's going to be his co-host on his podcast for 50. I think that just makes sense. I don't think, Rob would, the other Rob would do it. Rob has a podcast, the rap guy.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. He would be great. He
would be great as well, but I think he's got his hands full with his own things. So I'm not really sure. So I see Mariano coming on, being the co-host for 50 on the podcast to kind of, give his take. And I don't know. I just really feel like this is 50 will be Jeff's last season. And I don't think he's going to now. I still think JLP has a chance to come up north and give it a shot. I don't think it's out of the question for him to do that. People are like, no. But like that whole thing, that whole shift, that everything, I just kind of feel there's something up there. Like I get it. You get Dave, you get the golden god to come host. That wasn't the problem. That great. I don't know. There's a lot of unanswered questions. There's a lot of weird stuff that has been happening during 49 that we've never seen. Like the first on Survivor, they always talk about, it's a first. Well, it's a first on Survivor, I think, where Jeff has really inserted himself into the game and changed gameplay by what he said. I think that's a first. I can't think of any other time where he's made that big of an announcement to people to say, did he do it in 39?
No, I don't know if he needed to do it for 39, right? Because it's winners at war. All the best ones. And so I don't think that he needed to have as much marketing and promotion as he's doing this season with 50. I think he has enough foresight from fans, even though he may not do exactly what some fans are asking for. And again, it's a budget situation. Perhaps I think they can pull off 39 days still. I really want 39. That's my biggest one. I think that he understands that he needs to push this a little bit more in order to get eyes watching 50. And again, I still think a lot of it is that 48 post merge was very dull. And so this is his answer. I won't say very dull, but just like, sometimes the right players do the right things and they don't screw up. That's exactly what Kyle did. And so we will see. He's 64 years old. So that means, if he's thinking, okay, like, do I go on a big number like you're saying, then there's, 55 or there's 60, he'll be, 69 years old. That's up there. That's past some people's retirement. But again, maybe it's like they haven't found that one person that could fill his shoes either. Because I don't know what the whole JLP have they even said, like why he got fired from the show.
I have heard rumblings about different things. I don't have anything specific, or am I knowledgeable any of it? Some of it was numbers were sliding, and others were they can't afford them. And I don't think either of those things are true. So I am not really sure. I mean, they won awards with the Nina. I'll call it the Nina season. With the heroes versus villains season, which was probably one of the best seasons of any Survivor in history. And so, when you're coming off of stuff like that and they're making these kinds of decisions, it's like, I don't understand it. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I could ask me a year from now when we're sitting here in 51 going, oh, look, JLP's hosting, or who knows who, there was talk of Parvati hosting, which I don't know if I would be up for that. I think she's a little snarky, and I love Parvati. Don't get me wrong. I think she's great. I just don't know if I see her as host. That's like a kind of a different. I think it is good to have somebody that's played the game.
Like snarky Jeff? Like, don't we want his ruthlessness?
The knife and the knife and the rice. I do like that. And that would look very evil coming from Parvati, now that I think about it.
Yep.
But yeah, it's hard to say. I don't know what'll happen. I just feel like Jeff's going to go out on a big one, and I don't see him doing this forever. Obviously, I don't know where I mean, he's still telling you to come on out and apply.
And I am Jeff. I am. I don't know what you're waiting for. Come on, right now.
Get the call back. You'll have to tell us.
My biggest regret would be if, like, a friend of mine who I convinced to watch and now they're watching gets on, and that means that, it's the 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon or 7 degrees to Kevin Bacon that I'm too well known from that person who's on there, and now I'm off the list. So, Jeff, come on,
pick me, right? There you go. That's
yeah. I can't wait to see Coach. We're a couple more episodes away from Coach. Several episodes. So Coach comes back.
And that's just the thing too. I mean, when we look at things, how much hype does season 50 really need? You're bringing back the greatest of it's like some of the greatest players to ever play.
Right.
Like that in itself, for any Survivor fan, for anyone that's been watching, they want to see that. Why do you like Traitors does so well is because they bring in these icons from the people that are so loved from all of these different shows, and they bring them all together. So when you bring in the best, you get ratings, and Traitors has been off the chains with what they've been doing because they're bringing in the best of the best. And so when you bring them into Survivor, the best coming back to play against old versus new kind of a thing, that is like the ultimate in what Survivors have been wanting. How much more hype do you need, and why do you need to like be so? I don't know. I'm questioning a lot of decisions this season. I got a lot. I got
are you
answers? Yes. And so I do think it's taking away from the season. We've just spent 20 minutes talking about it. Had nothing to do with the seat, really that much to do with what's happening on the island. Season 49. Who was your standout player, and who made the biggest mistake this episode?
The biggest mistake this episode, gosh, I don't know if really. Let me think about this. I think that Juwan, Sage, and Steven, you have to give it to them that they're able to fool these people in a season where Nate tried to fool people and told a half truth, like told full truth, and then ended with a lie, and they're like, oh, he's lying. and some other people, and it's been, trust has not been able to be developed, and here they are. I think they're awkward enough to be awkward as normal, and if people assume like if they're all being awkward and doing awkward, then they're just being themselves. So that's whether that's a strategy. I don't know these people, but it's working for them. They have that kind of game awareness, I guess. I think so. For me, I would say you have to put bottoms up as the most strategic of the game, and Sophie for not saying anything to anybody, nor she playing it. I think it would have been an interesting tribal. I would vote. I would see somebody give an opinion that Sophie or Soph, playing that, stealing MCs, but they still would have been wrong, and that wouldn't have done anything. So I think her keeping it under lock and key is fantastic. I don't think this vote hurt Riz God or Savannah all that much, because I think it would have given them too much power, and then they would have been voted out. So I may say mistake-free survivor in this one. How about you?
I
Love this. Disagree.
No, I actually, as much as I am not a super fan of hers quite yet, she's still got to do a little bit more to get me to super fan. I think Savannah was making the best moves of this game, even though she was on the wrong side of the vote. I think her awareness with MC and she was a little. Those were some big eyes she was giving at MC, and it was a little crazy. And her determined behavior, I'll call it that, when she went for the keys and then she just kept sitting there watching her try all the keys, and trying to confuse her, slow her down, see what she was up to. I mean, at that point she had to know she was opening a box that had an idol in it. And she told everybody, I think that it was a strong move on Savannah's part, and I think it was a smart move on Savannah's part.
Yeah.
I mean, she's already on the opposite side of these people, so it's not like, oh, they're going to hate me now. Well, they already are against you, so you have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Right.
I think the worst move of the game, and the one that, like, I didn't quite understand, and that was Sophie and Alex, or Soph and Alex, having that little talk on the beach. If I were Alex, knowing that Soph is with the stronger, more dominant, like supposedly has all of the allies in that group, I think he missed an opportunity to really connect with Soph so that he could be on the inside track more. Because I thought he was a little standoffish with her and not say, I was unclear about that exchange with the two of them. I wanted it to be like, I think Soph was really trying to test him out to see where he was, and he was pretty aloof, and yeah, but like, it was just, I would have, if I were Alex, I would have been, oh yeah, I'll come with you guys. I could be your inside guy, whatever, like that, and continue that connection. But really have a lot more knowledge. And he didn't sell me on it. So
yeah, I could see how that would be. That's a good pick. I don't think he hurt himself by doing that. But I do think that
he could have positioned himself better.
Could have positioned himself better, but this is somebody who the only tribal councils he's been to has been with Soph. They're the only group that did not experience tribal council. So he got a couple tribal councils off, which was great for him. So I don't think he really developed the trust. So I don't think he knows exactly where he was and the people he was with, compared to Soph, who knows that she's good with these people because she's voted with these people. And I think that definitely didn't give Alex the ability to really see how his game has changed since he left Soph in the first place. So I can understand why he didn't say anything. Yes, I think it would have been better for him to kind of affirm his relationship with Soph still, but it doesn't seem to have caused any problems yet. I'm even fine with MC playing her idol and not getting a single vote on her. I don't think that was a bad move. She's never been to a tribal. She doesn't know who to trust. She now has an idol that's been played, so no one has to worry about her having an idol anymore. So I'm very fine with her playing that idol.
Yeah, I mean, it made sense to play the idol, and that's what I would have done. Yep. I do want to shift. We got a few minutes left. Who's going home next week?
Oh gosh, because I think I said MC this past week, so not strong on this. I didn't know it was going to be Dave really, like 100% until I think when Jeff said, okay, now it's time for the votes. And then I think I was like, okay, it's or Nate. So this week, when I'm not doing so hot anyways on these predictions, I'm going to say that there is an idol play of some sort or knowledge is power advantage that's played. There goes, and then the idol's taken and then it's used, or maybe they convince Riz God to use his. I'm not sure. So I think it's going to be a yellow. And man, if MC, it's big if MC wins immunity. If she doesn't, then I think it is Sophie will be going home. And we don't
Yeah,
have
I think Sophie's in trouble. I think she was their first pick, but I also think Steven's in a bit of trouble because he did cop a lot of votes last night. So he does, he is in a situation where, he's got to hope things change for him.
And he's more tied to that bottoms up alliance, which they might try to get more revenge on the bottoms up people rather than just the people who are joining the bottoms up alliance, which is crazy that I'm saying that join this alliance that just got formed after the cohesion of the yellow tribe. So
yeah,
it's a strong alliance. It's a legit alliance. It's not what was the alliance? The six with Q's six alliance. Or the three dads from Boston or something. So we haven't seen a legit alliance, cross tribal lines in quite some time. And this
not in a while.
That might be good enough, man.
Maybe it'll be the thing. I think Steven and Juwan are pretty tight. Sage is the wild card in that. Yep. It's hard to say. It's funny. Nobody picked Sage and nobody picked the Riz God. This season for our drafts, that's what you're seeing on the screen. Those were our picks, and we're kind of tying things up a little bit. So we're hoping Savannah and Juwan stay safe this next week for you. I'm worried about Sophie. I think they will come after either Riz or Savannah week, and I think there will be idol play. I agree with that. And so we will see where it stacks up. Will MC be in the mix of that? I hope not. I really like her. I think they want to I think Savannah and Riz want to make big moves because we know they do things to get themselves into 50, which this is why I hate knowing that. And so, we're expecting it. We're waiting for it. It's not going to surprise us because it's something that we're looking and we're counting on.
Which makes this season different. So maybe that was their whole target is, hey, to make something different, we want you to know that these two go pretty far. It's weird. It's kind of like I'm watching it for this. Like I've watched this before, and I'm still hoping that something different happens. Like I don't know if you watch other seasons of Survivor, but I'm like, maybe it won't happen this time. Even though,
right? You're watching it for the third time. Like,
right, man. Richard won again. Golly.
Yeah, I think Sophie and Steven are in trouble this next week. I think MC could be in trouble. I don't know. I wonder if MC will be smart and try to connect with Savannah after their little, encounter in the wilderness, to see if she can worm her way into that. But I think they're definitely in trouble.
Because if they're with Riz God, so if Riz God, Savannah, Alex, Sophie, and Alex can kind of bode wherever he wants to go. Sophie, it's kind of the same thing, but those four, all they need is one more person. But everybody else I think is pretty unshakable, which is why this idol will be played, I believe. So then we got a 4-5 situation. Glad I didn't have to say 6-7. I just did though. And so that's why I think another idol is going to be played the next week, and we're going to be at a 4-4 stalemate. And I'm excited. So season or 3 episodes from now, I think is going to be a colossal episode, which I'm excited about.
There we go.
There we go.
Well, that does it for us today. We'll see you next week on Spill the Immunity. Thanks for watching. Bye everybody.